We know big storms can damage our beaches, but is erosion happening all the time, even without them? Well, today we're digging into how beach erosion affects the Low Country year-round and what's being done to fight it. Let's welcome Dr. Tess Doeffinger, an assistant professor at the Citadel's School of Engineering. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This is a really important topic.
Yeah, good morning. I'm happy to be here.
I'm glad that you're here because after having just experienced this big storm that came through, king tide, high tide, I mean, it doesn't matter. It just seems like we always have a reason to watch our beach getting eroded year after year, day after day, really.
Right.
So is it something that is persistent?
Yeah, so erosion is just a natural process that happens every day. So there's always sand constantly being removed from the beach day in and day out. Just from the tide, from the wave action. Yeah, it's a natural occurring process.
Do you think it's happening more increasingly? Have we seen this type of erosion in the past, or is it getting exponentially worse?
So it just really depends day to day. King tides will make it worse, things like that, or storms. So those are really the times when erosion would be worse, is during a king tide event or during any kind of storm. Typically in the summer we see more, I guess you would say, gentler tides, a gentle system, minus the hurricanes.
Of course.
Other than those.
Yeah.
So generally the summer is a chance where any kind of sand that's in the near shore system can actually come back on the beach potentially.
Just naturally.
Naturally happens, but in the winter is really when we see erosion at its worst down here.
Why is that?
It's just a natural process again. The tides, the wave systems just seems to be a little bit stronger in the winter. So there's a bigger chance of getting some of that sand removed from the beach in the winter.
Oh, very interesting.
But generally speaking, erosion is occurring daily, all hours of the day. It's just a natural process.
Are there certain parts of our coast that is more susceptible to beach erosion?
Generally speaking, again, this is just, it depends on the day, depends on the tide and what direction the wind and the waves are going to be coming from. So specifically, we just saw this nor'easter come through, and some areas especially are really susceptible to the nor'easters, and we just saw that. So.
And I know, you know, from Edisto all the way up to Myrtle Beach, we have seen beach renourishment programs. And how long does that last? And it does kind of change the quality of your day at the beach, I will say. It was a little bit like walking on glass, some of the sand that they bring back onto shore. So
again, like, I wish there was like a solid answer of this is how long it should last. The beach nourishment process, right? Ideally, we would like to see that every 10 years or so. We'd like to see it last that long, but it just depends, again, how many storms come through. If a storm comes through right after we do the beach nourishment, that just can significantly erode away, you know, quickly. So again, it just depends. You know, we're dealing with Mother Nature here, so there's a lot of uncertainty that plays into that. But again, anytime we would see, especially again in the winter, like we just had the king tide, a nor'easter, is when we're going to see extensive erosion coming through.
Usually when it rains, it pours, so to speak, no pun intended,
well,
but all those things happen at the same time too. Is there anything that you can do to prevent it?
Yeah, so there's lots of different options we can use to help, like, reduce at least beach erosion. So there's anything from natural solutions all the way to hard infrastructure, like man-made infrastructure. So on the natural side, just really protecting our dune system. We can do natural vegetation like sea oats to really build up those dunes, and the dunes help to keep sand in place. So they're really beneficial. Beach nourishment is one option. And then some of the harder infrastructure solutions, if you've ever been to Folly, they have the groins, those concrete kind of rock structures that jut out into the ocean.
Oh yes,
So those are options as well. So those kind of trap sand, kind of help keep sand in the system, to say. So those, there's a wide range, and sometimes they're all implemented together.
You know, a lot of people, and there have been instances on Sullivan's, it's been in the news, the fact that there are some neighbors that would like to cut trees down, they would like to remove some of that vegetation to improve their view. How dangerous is that? I
mean, really, those, I mean, any kind of maritime forest like we might see on Sullivan's or any of those dune structures, they're vital ecosystems for the coast to really keep that sand there to protect our coast from erosion and from storms. They help with the storm surge, all of that. So they're very important.
And so anything else besides making sure that we're not cutting stuff down, that we're planting stuff, anything else that we can do to help prevent erosion?
And I think a lot of those three options I mentioned, those are more, you know, large scale trying to solutions, but day to day, just as individuals, really just trying to stay off the dunes ourselves. They just planted some sea oats on Folly this spring, so you saw the little shoots coming up. So trying to avoid those when they do the planting. Also just trying to keep the beach clean, trying to limit our trash, things like that, so these ecosystems stay healthy, for sure.
And stop collecting sand. Make sure you shake out your shoes.
Yeah, leave the sand on the beach when you can. Yeah, definitely.
Dr. Doeffinger, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. We'll be back after this.